Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, I am Dr. Arthur Dessi, currently the treasurer of the Philippine Society for Microbiology and Infectious Diseases. And may I request to tone down the music? Oo. Yeah, the music is a bit too loud. Yan. Oo. Yeah, thank you. Oo. So I'd like to thank everyone for staying within this Zoom meeting room, and I'm very privileged and I feel excited to moderate this session. This is our second non-scientific session for the FPSMID Virtual Annual Convention. And syempre, I'm very privileged because we have a very renowned, respected guest, special guest this afternoon. We have been dealing with the clinical side of COVID-19. And in this session, we will try to discuss a different aspect, a different perspective. In the pre-pandemic time, naalala ko po, I only had two sneakers. Hindi po talaga ako mahilig mag-sneakers, mag-rubber shoes. Madalas po, syempre pag nag-rounds tayo, naka-leather shoes tayo, and usually then I don't wear a t-shirt when making rounds. Maybe during Sundays, paminsan-minsan. Pero during the peak of the pandemic, di ba? Medyo ang dami kasing pasyente and nakakapagod mag-rounds kung ikaw ay nakamasikip na leather shoes, tapos mainit yung polo na suot mo. So in that way naapektuhan yung paraan ng pananamit ng mga doktor. Tapos yung mga fashionista, maybe some of you are listening, attending this webinar, medyo hindi sila masyadong nakakarampa. Kasi lahat tayo na-lock sa quarantine eh. Ilang months ba tayo na quarantine na talagang hindi tayo nakakalabas ng bahay. I know na ako personally hindi ko masyadong na-experience yung being in a quarantine kasi I'm a frontliner, pero I know, nare-realize ko when I talk to my patients na some of them ay talagang bored na sa bahay dahil hindi talaga sila lumalabas. So with that, our topic for this afternoon is all about staying fashion forward as we move forward in the pandemic. Alam naman natin that the pandemic is here to stay for quite some time. Hopefully, there will be a vaccine next year. Pero, yeah, hindi naman natin pwedeng pabayaan ang ating mga sarili, di ba? Fashion is a way for us to express ourselves. It's also a way to release whatever anxiety that we have, a form of helping our mental health also. So if I may request the technical team to flash the CV of our esteemed speaker this afternoon. Yeah. Naka-flash na ba? Yeah. Okay. So, ayan. Namali ako. Yeah. Okay. So, our special guest is the current creative director of Albert Andrada Luxwear. He is the genius behind Miss Universe Pia Wurtzbach's iconic winning royal blue evening gown. Yan yung sinuot ni Pia nung na-crown siya, di ba, na Miss Universe. Multi-awarded din yung ating guest. He is Asia's most connected designer at the 2014 Mercedes-Benz Stylo Asian Fashion Week held at Malaysia or in Malaysia, and he's also awarded the Designer of the Year 2002 dun sa Swarovski Bridal Designers Competition Award held in Dubai, UAE. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce Mr. Albert Andrada. So if we can give Sir Albert a virtual warm round of applause. Magandang hapon po, Sir Albert.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me here. I'm so honored, to speak in front of doctors and who's been helping a lot in this time of pandemic. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po, sir, kasi we didn't have a hard time inviting you. Opo. And thank you for gracing us with your time. So the way this session will go is para siyang Q&A session. Of course, the participants can help me out in moderating this session by typing your question in the Q&A box para ma-address namin ni Sir Albert. Sir Albert, is it okay if I call you Sir Albert or Albert would be okay?
Albert na lang. Dapat ikaw
Salamat
ata
po.
ang doctor.
Hindi po, hindi po. Okay na po tayo. Non-scientific po tayo. Des po ang tawag nila sa amin. So I'll start the ball rolling po. The first three questions are probably out of the topic and just some introduction questions. Albert, what do you think about doctors' fashion sense in general? Madalas ba ano kami, fashion victim? Kasi we don't have the time to really think about what we'll wear.
Not really. I've been in and out of the because one of the family members is a post-stroke patient. So I was in the hospital like in and out for about 2 to 3 years. And I've been observing doctors, and actually like in the hospital that the family members stayed was, I find doctors like, they're fashionista also, and there are some doctors that are all fashionista. Actually, especially male doctors, I am so impressed how they carry their barong shirts. And also, I saw some doctors who are really dressing up like, hindi ba, most of the time they're in, nagulat ako, she was wearing all black, and she was really like in a Japanese fashion style. And like, because doctors are so busy, toxic than schedule, um, I noticed that they go for the up to classic lines. Yung bang lines na very easy to wear, very easy to move with, at saka
Mhm.
yung parang wash and wear, madaling suotin. So, um, it's because maybe of their schedule, because of their being so toxic in their work, in their line of job. So, but it's nice to have doctors who really are dressed up to impress. Because when I felt this when a doctor comes in the room and I find her like parang dressed up so well, parang nakakagaan ng loob. Yung parang it adds up to the paggaling ng isang pasyente because you see beautiful
Yeah.
people in spite of the situation around you. You're enclosed in one small room with all those machines and all of that. So sabi ko, it's nice din pala when you see doctors well dressed up. And kasi what's most important kasi, when you dress up not really to impress, but you dress up like with your own character, smiling and all of that. That makes us feel lighter.
Yeah. You were mentioning barong, doctor wearing barong. I'm wearing barong tonight. So I
Oh yes,
the audience can probably understand kasi medyo mahaba po yung exposure ko for today. Kaya ako nagbarong, and maybe mali ata yung paraan ng pagwe-wear ko ng barong. Kailangan yata nakasarado tong botones sa itaas. Pero
yes. Pag
wag
dapat
na lang po
nakasara.
muna kasi hindi po ako masyadong makahinga. Oh. So, Sir Albert, nung panahon kasi ng pandemic, sumikat talaga yung term na PPE, 'di ba? Yung personal protective equipment. And nag-evolve na kasi yung personal protective equipment eh. Nung simula nung pandemic, yun yung very medical na personal protective equipment, pero habang tumatagal, nagkakaroon na ng fashionable PPEs, 'di ba? Kasi we're already adapting eh. But was it the first time for you to be introduced to personal protective equipment nitong COVID-19 pandemic? First time mo bang nakita yan?
Yes, yes. First time ko nakita to, and like etong mga telang to are not the most expensive tela that you can find. Actually, ito yung mga telang hindi pinapansin kaya napakamura ng tela. Pero when the pandemic came, etong pinakamahal na tela na nahawakan ko.
Oh,
Like because siguro it's been in the store or the warehouse for years na hindi nagagamit. Tapos biglang nagka-pandemic, it was really in demand. Na the price talagang jacked up to, let's say, 200 and 150%. So talagang,
and you're talking about what exact material, sir? Taffeta ba yun? Or yung ginagamit
yeah,
sa
those with
payong?
taffeta, yes. Yung ginagamit sa payong is entirely different. So we have
Uh-huh.
different kinds of taffetas kasi. Tapos, it's a certain taffeta also. Pero we also have this microfiber, which is water repellent. Kasi we were told na it should be water repellent, and so because we were given guidelines also. Pero what's lang kasi, we should have been given the real proper guidelines. Kasi when we were making it, kuminsan, it's a donation, a lot of people donate it. pero kung minsan it doesn't come up with the standard of the
Ah,
hospital of wearing it. Kaya ang nangyayari tuloy, parang natatambak lang sa isang tabi.
ah,
So, kaya sabi ko we should follow a real talagang standard of what a PPE is and composed of. So, even though we try to get in touch with some departments of government, it's so hard because during that time parang lahat natataranta na. So
yeah,
we just have to follow or ano yung mga orders na it has to be water repellent, um, things like that. Pero ang ano lang kasi is we just have to have a real standard of what PPE should
yeah,
be.
we understand. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yes.
Oo. There are a lot of ID doctors watching us, and probably those in a position to recommend will probably do that already. Opo. Sir, magdadigress muna ako, Albert. Ah, since I'm talking to a fashion expert, a designer expert, can you more or less give us a background? Ano po ba yung basic elements ng fashion and design? Can you talk about color coordination?
Oh yes.
Uh,
First of all, fashion involves a lot of factors. Like first, it depends upon the personality of an individual. Um, you have to dress up according to your personality. Kasi syempre, whatever you feel is best, what you feel, what's comfortable with you, that's what you wear. And second, it depends also upon the environment or the place you're into. Kasi sometimes kasi nakakaalangan and Filipinas kasi they don't like sila yung parang tipo mahiyain when it comes to fashion. It's always
Talaga ba? Talaga?
lagi
Talaga, Albert?
lagi
Do
sinasabi
you
nila.
feel that do you feel that Filipinas mahiyain tayo?
Oh, yes, because ang ibig ko in terms of mahiyain, ang ibig ko sabihin is they don't want when they every time they attend parties or occasions, they don't want to upstage the celebrant. It's not naman
Hmm.
a matter of staging it. It's just a matter of your expression of how you want to be or how you want to wear your dress. So it's not upstaging. Palagi kasi, Albert, wag masyado kasi baka ma-upstage ko yung celebrant. Yung ganon. Pero, sometimes, ganun kaya mahihain ng mga Filipinos. Pero
Yeah.
meron naman mga 5 to 10% na wala silang pakialam kung anong suotin nila. But still,
Pero
yeah.
yeah, yeah, now that you said it, I remember pag nasa Tokyo ako, a lot of the bata, matanda, parang they have their own hairstyle, they have their own the way they dress, 'di ba? Oo,
Mm,
pero dito kapag nakakita ka ng ganun sa mall, for example, iba yung kulay ng buhok, ay marami na talagang matang titingin diyan at marami ng bulong tungkol din sa may
correct.
judgment agad.
Yes, correct. Ang isa sa one of the personalities who's talaga malakas sa loob sa ganito is Tessa Prieto Valdez.
Correct.
So, yeah,
Tama.
she's one of my clients and, wala siyang pakialam. It should be like that, kasi, pero ngayon naman, nape-break na yung barrier niyon
That's
because,
true.
yeah,
I
because,
think so too.
yes, because even lalaki yan, they're also vain. I mean, I have brides and grooms. Pag hindi napunta sa akin yung bride, sigurado yung groom pupunta sa akin. Alam mo
Uh-huh.
yung ganun. Kailangan sasabihin ng bride, ng groom, ay yung bride ko, si anong susuotin niya. Dapat ako rin magpatahi sa ganito. Sa'yo, yung parang ganon. Kasi I noticed, what's so nice kasi nowadays is, yung mga men, level up na sila when it comes to fashion. Parang kuminsan nga natatalo pa nila mga babae ngayon eh. When it comes to fashion, mas vain pa kuminsan lalaki kaysa babae.
Yeah. Maybe you were talking about husband and wife, couples getting married. Meron bang rule na the groom should not out-fashion the bride? Kasi they always say the bride should be the star of the wedding. Eh.
For me, sa akin, it's not that way. It should be like,
Mm-hmm.
both should shine that day. Kasi hindi naman
Correct.
pwede because first, yung groom mo siyang gumagastos. And then second, kaya dapat siya rin ang star. And like it's nice to see both of them stunning, both of them, even the mothers of the bride and the groom. Ano yan eh,
Mm.
it's ang unang titingnan ng tao, ang unang nakikita nila is the groom. And then when the bride comes in, yung bride na. Pero ang iisipin kagad ng tao, anong suot-suot ng mother of the groom o mother of the bride? They wouldn't ask kung minsan yung father because they know The father kasi will always wear the classic coat,
Oh,
jacket and
yeah.
suit, yung mga ganon, or a barong Tagalog. Kaya nga sabi ko ganon, it's always the groom, the bride, and the mother of the bride. Kaya I always tell the mothers of the bride to be very stunning. Hindi sila pwede, parang back end lang sila. Hindi pwedeng ganon. They have to be beautiful as well, like the bride and the groom.
How about the mother of the groom?
Yun na nga, ganun din. Is a mother of the
Ganun
groom.
din. Ganun
Both
din.
mothers.
Okay.
Kaya kung minsan nagko-compete a mother of the bride and the mother of the groom.
Patay tayo dyan.
Kaya pag
Sige, sir.
pareho nagpatahi sa akin, I always advise them not to come together during fitting so there won't be any comparison na mangyayari. Ang mangyayari lang, simbahan na lang. Yung parang gano'n, magkita-kita na lang sa simbahan. Things like that.
Yeah. So, mag-segue na ako, Albert, sa sa pandemic, sa COVID-19. So let me just ask about your insights about the pandemic, your personal experience about COVID-19. How has it affected you?
Oh yes, it has affected the whole country, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
It has affected the fashion industry because there are no occasions or events happening nowadays. Kaya nga, what we're into in the midst of the pandemic, we're all doing PPEs. That's where I was
Mm-hmm.
aware lang
Yeah.
of PPE.
Mm-hmm.
So, nag-evolve ngayon ang PPEs. Dati, the typical PPE lang na alam nila for the hospital, na overall lang siya, yung parang bunny suit, and then it evolved na because, people just can't stay home. Alam mo, like I have clients na they got bored, they just really have to go out, and buy something. So sila, whenever they go out, they always have their PPEs. Pero the PPEs are fashionable PPEs na. Kaya sa akin palagi, I always suggest na kung pwede, the PPEs will be a two and some, like a pant, a pair of pants, and a jacket or top to cover. Kaya sabi ko nga mag-shorts na lang kayo sa loob para it won't be too hot. Kasi kung minsan the material kasi, kung minsan it's breathable pero you would still feel the heat inside. Yung ganon. Because it's water repellent nga eh. Kaya hindi ba? Kaya sabi ko nga ganon, it has to be ano. So we're into PPEs, we're into masks. Nakita niyo yung mask nag-evolve na. Yung ganon, marami ng designs. Pero I always tell my co-design, especially the young ones, you should always, but whenever you make PPEs or whenever you make masks, your first consideration is it should be safe. Hindi
Correct.
lang fashionable. Kasi you're fashionable nga, but once you're affected with the COVID-19, it won't talaga be nice for an individual. So I always
Meaning,
tell them, yeah.
Yeah, so meaning it has to serve the function of a mask.
Exactly. Kaya hindi ba? I now collab with a doctor in Singapore who discovered a nanofabric which kills the bacteria 99.9%.
Nice.
So we're still in the process of presenting it, of having it approved here. Kasi, it's a kind of material, a fabric na parang cotton siya. Pero what we're doing now, we're having this as layers, parang filters. We don't call it filters kasi it blocks yung virus, no? Pero ito kasi it kills the virus. Kaya nga, now we have this fabric. It was invented in Singapore by a Singaporean doctor. So we're in the process of making surgical masks and have it approved dito sa FDA natin.
So kung merong disinfection function aside from it being a barrier.
Yes, kasi the mask is not washable. You could just spray it with alcohol and kasi dito kasi hindi ba the safest is like parang disposable one, no? Yung disposable na mask. Pero this one you could use for like 10 times because it kills the virus. Kaya we're trying to distribute it to sa mga airlines like for the sleeping mask at saka yung mga blankets na maliliit, the pillows para safer. We also do have scarves and mga panyo.
Let me go more specific, Albert. How has COVID-19 changed the fashion world? Ano yung mga naging industry-specific concerns nyo about COVID-19? Halimbawa kasi ngayon, nasa bahay ang mga tao, di ba? Ang dami na nag-online shopping. So paano na yung face-to-face na bumibili?
Oo. Actually, sinasabi ko nga, whenever we have Zoom meetings with clients, mas nakakapagod kesa yung personal interaction. I feel so parang mas nakaka-drain because you're not talking to them personally, and it has affected so much kasi like for me, I'm a designer for couture clothes. So ang
Mhm.
niche namin talaga is for bridals, for evening gowns, for cocktail dresses. So they're all embroidered, they're all beaded dresses. Pero ngayon, hindi na pwedeng ganon because everyone has to be very practical in the sense of, syempre, essential muna is food and health, no? At saka na yung damit. So sa amin kasi ngayon, we're more on the minimalist side of fashion. We toned down already a bit, not a bit, but almost half. And then, like in terms of design and structure and components of clothes. And the first thing that you would ask or you would consider first is the safety of your client. So, hindi na masyado, but it has to be the fashionista way pa rin. When you say
Mhm.
fashionista, it's not naman avant-garde, but it has to go with the trend. But not really, you don't have to to go with the trend. But what I'm saying is, it has to fit your personality as well, at saka the way you feel when you wear it.
Yeah, I would have to agree with the taming down kasi if you put a lot of elements dun sa damit, ang dami-daming sequence, ang dami-daming berloloy, syempre mas mataas yung risk of contamination yan. Oo.
Yes, right, right, right.
Mhm.
At saka kailangan madaling suotin, yung
Correct.
gano'n, tsaka madaling,
Tanggalin.
uh, yes, madaling tanggalin because, sometimes, there are lots of people now, before they enter the door, hinuhubad nila mga damit nila,
Correct.
yung ganyan,
Correct.
tas inilalagay na sa mga,
Mm.
sinasanitize na agad, doon na naliligo sa labas, just as not to, you know, enter with a virus on you, parang gano'n.
Mm. You have parang touched this topic earlier, but just to elaborate, yung response ng fashion industry sa COVID-19, you were talking about the realignment of your products already, di ba? From the glamorous, and then you're now venturing into the simpler PPE type like na mga creations. But as far as hiring people, naapektuhan ba yon? Yung mga tao that work for you,
Oh,
the
yes. Yes, it has affected like my staff because like right now we're on skeletal because yeah,
mm,
if we don't do that, it just sustain everyone, 'di ba? Kasi when you have staff kasi, it's like you're having your own family to take care of. 'Di ba? Hindi you just can't just parang pabayaan lang sila or ano. So you have to be very ano rin, you have to plan ahead of scheduling, clothes, yung priority mo. Like right now, ang priority ko palagi is like yung mga regular clients ko, yung gano'n, because it's hard, to interact with other people na kasi like sa akin kasi, I'm only there by appointment, but I always
mm,
tell my staff it has to be like one or two clients lang per day. So parang yung
oh,
pagpasok lang ng tao, hindi
nag-limit
gano'n
din.
karami pumasok sa boutique. Nag-limit din kami because we're scared, because contamination of the virus might be there, so we have to be very careful also when accepting also clients. Yeah, that our business suffered also a lot.
Yeah,
Kasi what we're
I'm
after
sure.
also is the safety of the clients at saka sa amin, the staff. So we could just, not like before, wala kang pakialam kesa kahit pumunta sa'yo 10 tao isang araw, 15, sunod-sunod. Kasi there are times din ako like during the normal days pa before, parang ang mga tao nag-aantay talaga sa akin sunod-sunod. Like I start from 1 o'clock in the afternoon at tapos ako 7 o'clock,
Mm.
dire-diretso. Nasa mga para din akong doktor. Parang sa clinic may mga nag-aantay, yung parang gano'n. So I know how toxic the work of the job of a doctor is, yung gano'n. I
Pero,
feel it.
yeah, thank you. Do you practice additional measures? Halimbawa in your shop ba tawag, Albert?
Yes. Yung sa akin, it's a
Meron
boutique.
ka bang every time you use your boutique, sorry, a boutique. So every time that you use your tape measure in a client, you disinfect them. Tapos did you open your
Oh
windows
yes,
ng
we have
boutique
to have
para
like,
maganda yung ventilation?
yun lang nga, we open the doors of the
Mhm.
boutique kasi we don't have windows. And tsaka, I always have gloves there for my staff. So pag
Mhm.
may pag may ano kasi, pag may client, pag kailangan sukatan, they have to wear the gloves and dispose it right away.
Correct.
And then we also have tape measures, like a set of tape measures, mga 5 to 8 tape measures there. Pag nagamit, pinapa-sanitize ko na, or kung ano, 2 or 3 times pinapatapon ko na. Kaya alam mo yung gano'n, magastos rin in a way because
Correct. Magastos talaga.
yes, you have to be after the safety of your clients then at saka your staff. Kaya talagang you have to balance everything.
Yeah. Marami kasing na-lockdown ngayon sa kanya-kanyang bahay. Do you feel that fashion is a way to improve the mental health of syempre, a certain group of individuals that are really interested in fashion? And at this time, paano nila iaano yan? Paano sila mag-express ng sarili nila kung di lumalabas ng bahay?
But nauuso na kasi ngayon mga parties, Zoom parties.
Oo.
And this Zoom parties ngayon, they have their themed Zoom parties. Mas lahat ng Christmas. Ang dami
Correct.
tayong Zoom parties. So ang palaging dati kasi when you say Zoom meeting, it's always the top part lang ng damit mo ang nakikita, di ba? Kaya kung minsan nakabarong ka, tapos yung pala naka-shorts ka lang sa baba. Pero ngayon kasi, there are Zoom parties na talaga, you have to show yourself na buong buo. Like there's one party nga, they have to pass on the candle to the other. Parang gano'n. So, talagang nagdadamit sila ng gusto rin. So sometimes I have clients din na talagang pupunta pa rin. I mean, tumatawag sa akin and we talk virtually and order some clothes. Pero yun lang nga, ngayon mas simple, not like as before.
Yeah. Thank you, Albert. I still have a few questions na I prepared for our discussion, but let's just give way to the questions of our attendees. I hope this is
Sure.
okay with you, Albert.
Yes, please.
What is the 2021 color of the year daw?
2021 color of the year actually is more of blue, not blue, but this Tiffany blue color. It's more of
Wait. Sorry, what's Tiffany blue?
Tiffany blue is parang a mixture of light blue and light green, pero hindi siya aqua. It's aqua kasi, those PPEs na kuminsan sa hospital, di ba? This aqua thing. So it's lighter than that and more greenish.
So hindi siya teal. It's not teal.
It's not teal. Teal is dark. But this Tiffany blue, you know the color of the Tiffany company wherein they sell jewelry? That's the color.
Okay,
Tiffany.
got it.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Siguro it has to do with the pandemic also because you have to wear light colored clothes rather than dark colored ones.
Got it. Next question. How do you choose the color of your, very specific, the color of your socks when we wear loafers for petite females?
You mean the socks?
Yeah, oo. Paano daw piliin yung tamang kulay?
Yep.
Oo. How do you choose the color of your socks when we wear loafers for small females, petite females? I guess it depends also on the color of the shoes.
No naman, pero sa akin kasi it's always, the color of the shoes will consider it. Pero sa akin kasi when you wear loafers kasi, mas gusto ko talaga yung mga, those socks na talagang, lang siya, yung maikli lang siya, you don't really see it. Kasi
Yeah,
mas
that's my impression also. Pag sinabing loafers,
kasi
parang
pag
ang
loafers
impression
kasi
ko.
it will be better to see the skin. The
Correct.
skin of your feet rather than the socks. Kaya ako I suggest like if you wear loafers, just wear those mini socks na hindi siya mahaba that hides dun sa loafers.
Correct. Oh, it used to be called pugot socks, 'di ba? Kasi ginugupit mo yung mga old na medyas para hindi na siya kita. Oh, yun yung ginagawa dati pero ngayon ang dami ng yung mga RTW lines na meron na talagang iba't ibang levels ng foot socks.
Yeah. Right.
How do you think fashion can help the mental health of people in this time of pandemic?
Oh, it really helps a lot. As what I've said, when you see beautiful people in the midst of pandemic, it helps you still feel more alive. It makes you lighter in spirit because you see beautiful people, beautiful things around you. Kaya sabi ko nga, pag pandemic, you still have to feel beautiful. You have to show yourself you're beautiful enough to people. Kasi sometimes Di ba, minsan kung pasyente ka, tapos nakita mo ganun pa yung itsura ng those around you, parang, oh my gosh, parang nakakapanghina. Pero when you see people around you na magandang suot, you appreciate it. Although kahit
Of
sabihin mong
course.
hindi ka pasyenta, pero once you see a beautiful person or a beautiful thing or whatever it is around you, it helps yourself more, parang more alive, more ano, parang it makes yourself lighter, you know,
Correct.
hindi siya parang nakaka-depressed, you know, hindi ba? Anything beautiful, anything light colored, anything white makes you feel very lively and not depressed at all.
There's a question here that's somehow connected. Ano daw ba ang mga happy colors that can lift the mood of patients?
Happy colors, you know, whenever I see doctors who are wearing red, you know, parang
Talaga
sa akin
ba?
ang saya-saya ko, but, you know, oo, pero yung red kasi, parang kita ko red, parang dugo, di ba? You know, parang, you know, pero it's nice. Pero sa akin kasi, I suggest that they would wear light colored dresses. You know,
Mhm.
kasi when you wear light color, because, you know, doctors kasi, you all wear lab gowns, di ba?
Mm.
Under,
Mm.
yeah, over your
Oo.
clothes. Kaya
Yeah.
kung minsan,
Oo.
doctors kasi, you know, so you see them so clean, so doctors kasi impression mo naman talaga eh, di ba? Once you're a doctor, you know that you're clean. Even us kasi, when we see you in lab gowns, you're all clean. Basta sinabing doctor kayo, di mo natignan, they're all clean. Pero you know, sometimes you take it for granted na lang to dress up inside. Like, what I mean, because you're wearing lab gown nga, okay na yon. Pero hindi rin, because kahit naka-lab gown kayo, nakita pa rin namin yung inside dress nyo. At saka, ang ito pa, ang nakita namin kaagad sapatos nyo. Yung parang gano'n. You know, like, you have
Talaga
to,
ba?
oo, yeah. Ako palagi kasi pag nakikita ko kasi nakatakip or ano, ang unang titignan ko, yung sapatos ko, ay sapatos ng isang tao because that will speak for herself or for himself. Na doon mo makita personality ng tao sa sapatos niya. I don't know if you agree with me. Pero sa akin kasi, I see the personality of a person through his shoes or through her bags or through her dress, her clothes. Kaya doon ko nakikita. Kaya
May,
yun ang na-skip ng mga doctors ko minsan, naka-white kasi sila, parang hindi na masyado pinapansin yung panloob nila. Alam mo yung ganon. Kaya hindi ba pag may occasion ng mga doctors, yung dati may mga events, that's the time they dress up. Kaya
mm,
there are doctors who come to me, magpapatahe, yung, they feel so excited. Kasi that's the only time and the only outlet that they have,
opportunity.
yes, to dress up well. Kasi nga, pag sa hospital, ay, hindi kasi kaharap ko lang naman mga pasyente, at saka toxic, you know. Pero I find also doctors, like in one hospital, like 60% are dressed up so well. I mean, I'm so impressed.
Mm,
Yung karamihan nito, you know, they're all, karamihan pa nitong, the 60%, sa akin, um, let's say, 30, 40, let's say 25 and 35, 25% female, 35% male.
men. Oo.
Yes.
Medyo kinabahan ako dun sa sapatos, ha? Pero thank you for the tip. Thank you for the tip, Albert. Oh, next question. For jewelries, should the earrings match the necklace and the ring should match the bracelet? Does it matter?
No, nowadays kasi, gone are the days na you match everything. Na kailangan terno yung hikaw, terno yung kwintas, terno lahat, terno. Ngayon, may mga ibang, the elder women, you know, mahilig sa ganon, that generation before, na mahilig sa terno, pati bag, pati sapatos, terno.
Mm.
Pero ngayon, you just wear whatever makes you feel right, whatever makes you feel comfortable. There's no mistake in matching. It's always, you know, sa akin kasi, it's not a mistake. There's no mistake in matching like your clothes with another or a bag with another shoes. Kasi, you know, once you see something mixed from different components, you know, or different colors or different composition, sa akin kasi, that makes the subject more livelier. You know, kasi I don't know, I find it boring to see a person na terno-terno ang suot. Parang sa akin, it's
Oh.
just like a white wall na nilagyan mo ng black na pintura lang. Parang ganon. But when you see a person who dressed up like whatever she wants to match with her bag or shoes is like a blank canvas na may abstract painting. So you see, it's livelier rather than having a painting of a white wall and then a black stroke lang, which is so boring. So
Mhm.
in doctors kasi, ang maganda kasi sa doctors, sabi ko nga, uh, it's so safe for them because you all wear white lab gowns. That's the safest, di ba? When you go around, But sometimes, once you don't have to get used to it because always remember, syempre may buhay din kayo out of the hospital. So dapat sanayin niyo rin sarili niyo na to dress up how you like it, how you want it, not just the white coat that you have.
That's right. I've heard a previous dictum before na kapag nagsusuot ka daw ng jewelry, parang kung necklace lang, pendant lang. Kung hikaw na pearls lang. Okay? Does it hold true up to ngayon na isa-isa lang, mahina ang kalaban?
In as what I've said, fashion, being fashionable or fashion, depends upon the personality of a person. It's how you express kasi yourself eh. Kaya you can't just tell na kailangan hikaw lang na ganito or pendant lang or ganito. It depends nga because you will see the personality of a person, the way he dresses or she dresses up.
Got it.
Kaya
Thank you.
each individual talaga has their own right to dress up whatever she wants to, in
Of
which way she
course.
wants. Yes.
Of course. Next question. How do you make jeans and shirt look fashionable while doing rounds? I guess it all depends on you, di ba? On how you want to
Jeans
express
kasi,
yourself.
yun na nga, like what I said, when you wear jeans, you have to wear the appropriate footwear. You know, kuminsan kasi, um, baka naka-jeans ka tapos you're wearing leather brown shoes, which is parang, ako sa akin, it's a no-no. Um, uh,
Mm,
sa akin, when you wear jeans, a good sneakers would do. Pero ikaw sa yung dog, di ba, you don't have like sneakers on your, you only have two or so. Yung
hindi
parang
na po
hindi ka
ngayon.
masyado, you're on more of that. Yeah.
Dumami na po
So,
ngayon.
so dumami na nga. So, you know, jeans kasi, once you say jeans kasi, it's usually a rugged
Yeah.
thing in fashion. So once you say a rugged thing in fashion, so you have to have a just good classic white polo shirt. For me kasi ang pinakamaganda, if you're wearing leather with jeans, akong pinaka favorite ko is to wear a white shirt na polo, na long sleeves and raw neck.
White
Ang ganda-ganda,
shirt na
especially
polo.
for
Long sleeves.
uh,
Mm.
long sleeve na cotton, then have your jeans at saka leather shoes. That's one of the best.
I will
Na
try that,
look.
Albert, ha? Ang concern ko lang talaga sa white, maraming bumabakat.
Oo, yun nga. Yun na
Oo.
nga. Yun na nga. So, maganda nga ngayon because fashion now, lumalayo na ang fashion sa figure. What I mean
Mhm.
is the silhouette now is not really near the body, but
Mhm.
it's going further out of the body na. So, ang uso may mga square blouses,
Correct.
square shirts, yun ang mga uso. Everything is very loose, even the pants, shirts, lahat loose. Kaya kita mga bags. And what's nice din with doctors is I can tell their personality also sa mga handbags nila. Most of the doctors carry a burden of things sa bags nila. Hindi lang isa o hindi lang dalawa. Pero when I see them, kasi meron doctors ako nakita na ang ganda magdala ng bags. Ang ganda magdala ng bags. So, the accessories really add to your look talaga. That's very important. Bags, yung mga ganon. Even the males, even the men, they have
Yeah.
very, very beautiful bags also.
Ang problem na ngayon, Albert, as far as our society is concerned, when we make rounds, we really refrain uh, from bringing a lot of things with us kasi it can get contaminated by
Mm.
viruses and bacteria. Pero, yeah, bags. Masaya yan.
Kasi nakakamiss na because,
Correct.
sa laman ako ng hospital, laman ako ng mga clinics. So ngayon, just like 2 weeks ago, I was there, malungkot na yung hospital. Wala na masyadong
Walang,
clinic, yung gano'n.
oo,
Kaya wala na
oo,
masyadong doctor ako nakikitang dumadaan-daan kasi hindi ba once you're in the waiting area kasi, you see a lot of doctors walking, going to their clinic. Kaya doon ko na-observe ang mga doctors. Kaya nakakatuwa din when I don't get bored while waiting, pero
uh,
kasi I see doctors come and go. Kaya I just
uh,
observe how they dress up or kung ano yung mga ano nila sa personality nila. Kaya hindi ako na-bored while waiting.
yung nangyari sa na you felt really sad na it was not like before. Nangyari naman sa akin 'yan when I first entered the mall during the lockdown. Kasi yung napakalungkot ng mall. Malls are supposed to make you happy kasi ang saya, ang daming tao. And then here I enter the mall tapos hindi magkakalapit yung mga tao, tapos sarado yung iba, patay yung ilaw. So parang ito ba yung nagagawa ng virus, something that we cannot see? And yet it's affecting really our usual living. Parang ganon. Opo. Ah, you, you have sent me some pictures. I hope it's okay if we can just go through some of it, some of your creations, and maybe discuss with us kung ano yung inspiration mo and the functionality of those, if that's okay with you. Nawala si Sir Albert. Mm. Okay. Let's just wait for Sir Albert to to log in again. But let me see if we do have additional questions in the chat box. Cool speaker and topic. Thank you, Mr. Andrada. Thank you for that comment. And make sure to accomplish the evaluation form, the Google form. Fashion was not in the minds of doctors during med school and rigid training. Well, tama naman. But I guess as med students, baka pwede na nating simulan na maging fashionable. At least clean looking maybe. Scrub suits. Any suggestions for fashionable scrub designs aside from the perennial V-neck? Sige, tanong natin kay Sir Albert. Oh, welcome back. Yeah. Yep, welcome back.
Sorry, I think I lost the connection. Yeah.
Got it. No problem. Sir Albert, one more question. Scrub suits daw. Any suggestion for fashionable scrub designs aside from the perennial V-neck?
Oh yes, there are lots of variations naman na scrub suits, you know. Pero if you're gonna do the scrub suits like parang disposable lang, but I think I suggest like a classic like I think that a design or ano is useless. So it would be better to be more practical to just have a clean line of scrub suits. So magkakatalo lang yan sa neckline o ano because sometimes di ba, when you wear scrub suits kasi parang madalian lang eh. You know, you wear it then after a while you just dispose it.
Yeah.
Kaya it's more important talaga yung PPEs when you go out.
Yep. How about turtleneck scrubs?
Turtleneck scrubs, yes. But sometimes kasi, turtleneck kasi, because of the texture, it affects kung minsan nagkakaroon ng allergy sa skin, nagkakaroon ng kate, you know, naging makate sa ano because of the texture of the scrub suits. You know, so maganda lang kasi sa mga closed neck, sa mga ano, when to be safe is when you're wearing silk or mga ganung klase. Pero you know once na ano kasi hindi rin masyado advisable ang turtleneck.
Got it. Albert, I'm sharing a creation that you made. Tama ba ako?
Yes.
This is your mask.
Yes. That's the nano fabric that I'm using. So we turned it into surgical mask. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. What else do we have here? This one. Ano po ito?
This is set for airlines. It's made of the nano fabric also.
Okay.
Yes, that's a pillow. Tapos yung kasi it's a neck pillow. Na yung neck pillow na meron siyang detachable na hood na siya. Na you could wear it while sleeping. Tapos yung isa, that's a sleeping mask.
Yeah. Is this supposed to be disposable o pwede siyang i-wash?
No, because you can't wash it because once you wash it, the layer on that
Ah,
thing kasi tatanggal. So nagiging
got it.
useless na siya.
Okay. This one.
Mm. Oh yes, that is one PPE na it's an overcoat na with a nano fabric then a hood, but then the one below are it's water repellent also. So yung pinapatong sa mga damit, sa mga
Mhm.
ano, it's unisex also. It could be for
Oh.
male and female also
Ah,
for use.
so sorry ano ulit yung fabric na ginamit natin dito? Para lang magka-idea kung makapal ba siya
We
or...
yeah, there are different kinds. We use the taffeta, but the
Mhm.
higher yung hindi yung pampayong is the higher standard na version ng taffeta.
Got it. Okay. A few more questions. We're about to wrap up. I have one
Yes.
important question here, Albert. Uh, what are your fashion predictions for 2021? What do you think will be the trend?
For 2021, it will be more minimalist. It will be more structured. Uh, Structured meaning the volume. It will be of a looser. It will be away from the body. It's just a loose box thing silhouette and minimalism because I said as I've said there will be lesser components.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi syempre you have more components on your clothes it easily attracts the virus or the bacteria. So it will be lesser of that, and it will be more affordable. Prices is very important nowadays because you just have to make dresses which people would afford. Even the rich people, they couldn't just buy anything. You have to consider also on prices because clothes are not the priority. Priority now
Correct.
is food.
So may comment dito, Albert. What I noticed was, nung nag-med ako, nawalan na ako ng gana maging fashionista. Pero meron namang next comment, balik fashionista na tayo mga Mars. Oh, tama. Oo.
Yun na nga, yun ang sinasabi ko because, sometimes kasi, you only feel that you're just in a clinic, you're only surrounded by patients. Pero always bear in mind, doctors, whenever we see you dressed up well or very pleasing to our eyes, it adds liveliness to ourselves. It adds an immediate eagerness to be well again because once a patient looked at you, parang sinasabi din nila, gusto ko maging ganyan ulit. Gusto ko magdamit ng ganyan ulit. Ayoko nakahiga. So it helps the patient then mentally to be well again. Hindi ba? But if you
Mm,
but if you go in front, kasi kayo you all look clean eh. It's just a matter of yung kumbaga yung packaging na lang, 'di ba? So it's just like when you buy something, it's packaged so well, it's so pleasing to the eyes, you want it. You want to be like it, or you want to be that kind of person. Okay, if you were a patient and you would see such people, you would so eager to be in that situation na gusto mo manamit na rin ng ganun, gusto mo ganyan ka na rin tumayo, magdamit na rin. You don't want to be stuck in bed for a long time.
thank you. Thank you po, Sir Albert. May nag-comment dito, parang love yan. May impact ang first sight. Ayos, sumugot pa, no? Oo.
Correct,
Sir
yeah.
Albert, any last words or message for our participants, for the doctors attending?
Yeah. First of all, I'd like, in behalf of the Filipino people na lang, not the designers, we would like to thank everyone who was so supportive in these times. Lumabas ang pagka-Filipino nyo. We really are very, very grateful for your for helping each and every Filipino, for your sacrifices. We know that this is not really uh, 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 a thing that should be pero like we're really grateful as me an ordinary person we really
bow heads upon, to people like you who have been so helpful, and your sacrifices for your kapwa Pinoy or for other people as well. At saka, always remember, doctors, you have to feel beautiful. You have to feel very beautiful to create something, or to have yourself wear something which is so nice. Even whatever, it doesn't matter, whatever blouse or whatever pants or whatever shirt you wear. What is important, as we see your personality in the way you dress up, the personality which makes our feeling or spirit um high, especially to patients. And again, thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor for me to be speaking in this convention. Maraming salamat po.
Oo. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Albert Andrada. And well, on a personal note, yung itong passion is one of the things that have kept us, not just me and some of my friends here in this room, kept us sane during the pandemic. Pag natotoxic kami, online shopping, bili ng kaunti dito, di ba? As a form of distressing. But indeed, all of us have been affected by COVID-19 equally, albeit differently. Okay? Yung fashion statement natin, yung fashion expression, simple as it may seem, is another way to help us cope. And you know that any form of help at this time is as important as any other help that we can receive. If you love fashion, you can remain fashionable, and it will be best if you incorporate some of the infection prevention concepts that we have discussed during this session and in the previous and future sessions of the PSMID annual convention. With that, I'm Dr. Arthur Dessi Roman, and again, I'm very privileged to moderate this session together with Mr. Albert Andrada. And let me just flash this certificate of appreciation that we will be giving him. Certificate of appreciation is given to Mr. Albert Andrada for sharing his invaluable expertise as speaker, as resource person in the topic staying fashion forward as we move forward in the pandemic. This is signed by Dr. Regina Berba, the Scientific Committee Chair, Dr. Viglor Maginsay, the Vice President and overall Chair of the Convention, and of course, our President, Dr. Marisa Alejandria. Once again, thank you very much, and please stay tuned sa susunod na session. And don't forget to fill up the evaluation forms that we have typed sa chat box. Thank you po ulit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you po.